Hello guys, this is Universal Giant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokemon Soul Silver. Last time we made it through the ice path to Blackthorn City, and today we're going to be taking on the Blackthorn City Pokemon Gym. Now, I was considering using the coins I made in the game corner to buy up Ice Beam and give it to Duster, but I don't think it would be as effective in here as I would hope it would be, so we'll just go in as we are and see how we do. Now, this puzzle has been completely remade from the original game to the point where we're not allowed to walk around with our Pokemon because it's going to be very difficult to have them on these things. But in the original games, we had a puzzle where we had to move boulders from the second floor down to the first so we could make a bridge over the lava. But here, it's a little bit different. We have to move around these platforms in such a way that we can just cross over the lava this way. It's difficult to describe how to use these things, so I think I'll just let the motion of the platform speak for themselves. But this gym specializes in the most powerful type of Pokemon in the game, Dragons. Dragons are only weak to Ice and Dragon-type moves. So you can imagine this is why I wanted to have Ice moves, particularly Ice Fang, and I also gave Crunch the Nevermelt Ice to power up Ice Fang. But I don't think it's going to be all that powerful. In fact, I'm surprised we were able to knock out that Dratini. In the first generation, Dratini was the only Dragon-type family in the game. And I'm trying to think whether or not they added more dragons in the second generation. I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% on that, because Dratini was that family in the original games that didn't evolve until way late. In fact, it doesn't reach its final evolution until level 55. And the similar kind of Pokemon family in the second generation was the Larvitar family, which was Rock Ground and evolved into Rock Dark type. But I don't remember if they added any new dragons in the second generation. I know they kind of went overboard with the dragons from the third generation on, where each game would have like 2 or 3 different families of dragons in addition to the legendaries, which kind of took away from the mystique of only having so few dragon types. But you have to admit they are the coolest kind Pokemon and overall the strongest. So it's pretty neat to have them here. And more glitching. It wasn't too much of a problem before, but I think it's becoming a little bit more of an issue than I realized it would be. But the teleporter over to the left will take us back so we don't have to redo the puzzles if we want to head back to the Pokemon Center and heal up. But you might have noticed that that Dragon Tamer we faced before had a Seadra. And that's not a Dragon type, is it? Well, in the second generation, Seadra actually got an evolution that we'll be seeing shortly. That gives it part Dragon type. And the rumor has it that they actually wanted Gyarados in the original first generation to have Water Dragon typing. And Dragonair, the evolved form of Dratini. I'm pretty sure that Ice Fang isn't going to OHKO. But the reason why they didn't want to give Gyarados dual Dragon Water type is that Dragon is resistant to a ton of different types, like Grass, Fire, Water, Electricity, among a couple of others as well. And since in the original first generation, the only Dragon type move did a set 40 damage, if Gyarados was given Water Dragon typing, it wouldn't be weak to anything in the first generation, since the only thing it would have been weak to was Dragon. And Dragon Rage only did a set amount of damage. But in the second generation, when they introduced a couple of Dragon type moves that didn't do a set amount of damage, I guess they figured, why the hell not, let's just throw in a Water Dragon type. And that's what Seadra evolves into, and I think I gotta read... I hate this puzzle so much. I really, really hate this puzzle. I can never figure it out. But yeah, you step on the blue circle to make it rotate around. And then you step on the arrows to make it move. It's really weird to use. But it gets the job done, I guess. I know this is the particular gym puzzle of all of the gym puzzles in this game that gives me the most trouble. I don't know if it's the most troubling one for me of all the Pokemon games, certainly within this one. But I can think of a couple of them in the Sinnoh region that gave me a lot of difficulty. Not so much in the 5th, but it's been a long time since I've played through the 5th from start to finish. I'll tell you what, though. They've really ratcheted up the difficulty of making it to the gym leaders. And I'm not just talking about the trainer battles, I'm talking about the actual gyms and their puzzles. Over the years, they've gotten significantly more difficult. And that's not necessarily a bad thing either. I enjoy the challenge. I like myself a couple of puzzle games. It's just that if you have to face like 10 trainers in a gym, it can be difficult to keep track of what it is you've done and what it is you haven't. So similar to when we were pushing the boulders around in the ice path, it can be difficult to keep track of what you've already done and what you haven't done. So you lose your train of thought in the middle of the puzzle and you wind up having to start over again. Really annoying. But Brine is a water-type move that does twice as much damage if you're below half health. Very interesting, we'll get the TM for it later. I don't think it would be a bad idea to heal up either, so I'll do that really quick. I have the Oran and Citrus Berries, I might as well use the darn things. Now, since Dragon types are the rarest of the rare, at least until this point we haven't had access to them, I think you might be able to fish for them in Blackthorn City, but I know you can in a cave that we won't have access to until after we get through the gym. But as such, I've always been really curious to try using Dragon types. The downside to it is they take so long to evolve that you won't be able to use them to their fullest potential until pretty much endgame. And yeah, there's Brine being used at its finest. Since I'm below half health, it does twice as much damage. Thanks for allowing me to demonstrate that, Seadra. What do I want to do here, though? I didn't realize just how much higher level these guys were than I was, and this is what I meant when I said this is the gym that usually gives me the most trouble. Not only because of their levels, but also because of their typing. It's very difficult to hit these guys for super effective damage. And the upcoming gym leader battle is really intimidating me. I want to say, I mean, certainly grinding for the Pokemon League at the end of the region is something I'm going to be doing. I never really think to grind before that point, though, so I kind of rush into these battles here. I guess I'll heal up Krako, too. But it doesn't occur to me to even consider grinding at this point, which is, I suppose, why this gym gives me the most trouble, because it is the most difficult, level-wise and type-wise. And if you don't think to grind for it, you should expect to run into a little bit of trouble. So I'm actually looking forward to the challenge. Up until this point, we've pretty much blown away all of the gym leaders. To the point where I've actually... Yay, freeze! Please don't thaw on the first turn. Gosh darn it! I don't know what the percentage is. I think it's a 10% chance that when your turn comes up, if you're frozen, you thaw out. And of course there are a couple of moves that you could possibly use to get rid of it yourself, although they're few and far between. But to thaw out the same turn I get the freeze is just the most frustrating thing. Because it's so difficult to get a freeze in the first place, and when you finally get it, the guy just thaws out. What a load of bull! But this is the kind of puzzle I'm talking about that is really annoying to figure out, because this puzzle is a puzzle. And the one thing we know about puzzles is that puzzles are puzzles, and puzzles will puzzle you until you are completely puzzled. So let's continue puzzling the puzzle so we can potentially puzzle the puzzle. And if we're able to successfully puzzle the puzzle, we'll be able to puzzle the puzzle. So puzzle, 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 puzzle the puzzle, 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 and finally puzzle. There's no way I'm facing you without healing. I just went back to the Pokemon Center using that teleporter over there. I don't know if this first attempt is going to go over well, but we're sure as hell gonna try. Cape and everything, really? She's got 4 Pokemon. The first one she opens up with is a level 38 Gyarados. We faced a whole ton of these before, so we should know by now that this thing is 4 times weak to electricity. Unfortunately, it's faster than me, so it's going to get off a Dragon Rage. But thankfully I have 87 HP, which means it's going to take 3 of those to knock me out. And I'm really hoping this is a one-hit KO. If it just barely survives it and she heals it, so much the better, so we don't have to deal with the fact that she's going to have to... She only has a certain number of healing items, so I'd rather her use them on Pokemon that I can knock out fairly easily. But assuming you have an electric-type move, especially if you have an electric type, Gyarados shouldn't be an issue for you. It's the 3 Pokemon coming up that I'm really afraid of. And I'm tempted to stay with Kracko because I have 2+2 spec attack, but if she's going to send in the Pokemon that has the super effective move against Kracko, I'm going to need him for later. Yeah, she has 2 Dragonairs. One of them has Fire Blast, one of them has Aqua Tail. I'm assuming she's sending in the one with Fire Blast, so I'm going to go to Crunch. But all of her Pokemon know her signature move, Dragon Pulse, which is a very powerful special-type dragon move. And I assume that's what she's going to be using on me, but she usually likes using Thunder Wave to paralyze you. And I was considering equipping everybody with Cherry Berries to get rid of the paralysis if they happen to be inflicted with it. But I figured it would be more helpful to up the strength of Crunch's Ice-type move so we could deal with the Dragonairs. And I'm thinking without it that this might have not been a 2-hit KO, so I'm thankful I did it. Kracko should be able to wall her other 2. But I kind of want to hold off on using him because he's low on health, and if I can help it, I don't want to... Why did I stay in with you? Well, I guess if I'm staying in with Crunch, I might as well heal somebody up. Because she's going to knock me out with the Dragon Pulse either way. I don't know why I stuck with Crunch. Who's going to be the least help to me? I guess Lucas would be, but I don't want to use him as fodder either. So let's just hit Kracko with the Super Potion because I know I'm going to have to use him later on. Whether that's sooner or later is going to be made apparent right now. But Kracko should be able to wall Dragonair, so if I can get a couple of Charge Beams in and raise my special attack, we should be okay for her last Pokemon. I know she's going to resist it. Now, to demonstrate the ability that her Dragonair has, it's called Shed Skin, which gives it a 1 in 3 chance of curing its status ailment at the end of each turn. So it's generally not a good idea to try to paralyze these things from the get-go. But as long as we have the healing items for it... Well, you know what? Paralysis doesn't hurt Kracko too much, although I should be outspeeding this thing anyway. So let's try to get a couple of Charge Beams in. I know Dragonair resists them, but if we get our special attack boosts in, we should be good for her other Pokemon. And Shed Skin hasn't cured her paralysis, and I haven't been paralyzed yet, so this is going well so far. We just need a couple of special attack boosts. Make me feel really happy. Yeah, but there's Aqua Tail. Physical type water move. And it's a move that Crunch will learn eventually, but because Surf is going to be so much more helpful in terms of being able to get around the world, I think I'll stick with Surf for a while. So now that we've gotten a couple of special attack boosts, I think we can go in for the kill with Flash Cannon. And I'm surprised Shed Skin hasn't kicked in yet. It's a 1 in 3 chance. But now I want to try riding out Kracko for as long as I can. And I believe I resist all but one move on her last Pokemon, so we'll see how this goes. I think I'll try paralyzing it first, though. Kingdra, the evolved form of Seadra, picks up the Dragon type and is only weak to Dragon. Now, this one I don't necessarily mind so much. Now, in fact, now that I think about it, Hydro Pump's probably going to kill me. Why didn't I heal? Gosh darn it, all that work I did for nothing. So let's see, who can we go with? We obviously can't go with Lupus, because he's going to be weak. And I don't think we could necessarily do anything about it either. Who would make the most sense to go with? Because I can't think of any status inflictions I can hit it with at this point. I guess we'll go with Duster, just because we can start off with him, but I don't think he's going to be doing too much. Give it a shot, though. If things don't go so well, I'll probably have to revive Krako just to hit this thing with... Are you kidding me? If it comes down to Lupus, I'll revive Krako. I'd really like to hold off on doing that, but if I have to, I have to. We should be able to live a Hydro Pump. Not well, but we should be able to take it, and God willing, we'll be able to confuse this thing with Confusion, but I'm not going to bank on it. No, it doesn't look like it. So it looks like the best form of action we can take here is to spend this turn reviving... who is it? Reviving Krako. Because we could use a quick attack, but it wouldn't do very much, and Kingdra's going to outspeed us if we do anything else, so... Hydro Pump is always good when it misses, and I suppose I'll take this turn to revive... Not revive, but restore Krako to full HP. As long as we have the turn, I don't see the point in wasting it. We have so many healing items anyway. I don't know why you didn't use Dragon Pulse to finish me off in the first place. You would have been able to kill me without having to deal with the miss. But you can't predict CPUs. I'm pretty sure this thing doesn't have Shetsin, so if we can hit it with a Paralysis, that would be so much the better. And also, if we can confuse it with Supersonic that I've been neglecting to use because it only has 55 accuracy, that would be terrific. Yay, Parafusion! Watch it break through every single time and hit every Hydro Pump from now on. Now, I forget if she used a full restore on Gyarados, or just a regular healing item like a Hyper Potion. If she has full restores, not only do they cure... You're really gonna be doing the evasion crap. Gosh darn it. Well, more Supersonic. I'm surprised I hit that down one stage of accuracy with 55 base accuracy to begin with. But Parafusion is Parafusion. Let's see what we can do here. Because you have to factor in the 25% of the time Kingdra wouldn't be able to move due to Paralysis, and 50% of the time she won't be able to do anything due to Confusion. So she has less than a 50% chance of breaking through. That's why dual status is so helpful. And I don't see myself being able to knock this thing out. If she's going to heal it if she has another healing item to use, but I can't really do much about it. Yeah, they're full restores. I should have used Thunder Wave. So that got rid of her Paralysis and her Confusion, which means we have to do this stuff all over again if we really want to stand a chance, but... With the exception of Hydro Pump, we do wall her pretty well. It's just that we're a physical wall as opposed to a special wall, and I don't know if I want to stay in simply because we're down 2 stages of accuracy already. So I'm not sure I want to risk missing with Supersonic since it's less likely to hit than not. I think I'll just keep going with Charge Beam. If I hit it again, great. If I don't, we're kind of out of luck here, because even with the 2 boosts in special attack, she does resist Flash Cannon because it's Water type, and if we're going to be missing so much, there's not much else I can do. I think I need to switch out just to get rid of the reduced accuracy. I want to keep Lupus alive simply because if I have to resort to him, I'll have to use the turn to heal up somebody anyway. So let's see, is there anything HCB can do, or do I just want to... You know what, he's out here, let's see if we can get a couple of good attacks in. just for brute force. So what do I want to do here? I don't want her to restore to full health again, but I don't think she only has 2 healing items to use. And there's the move you kind of wanted to avoid, Hyper Beam. 150 base power normal type move, but it forces the user to recharge for a turn after use, which means she can't do anything. Even if she had a healing item, she wouldn't be able to use it on this turn. So we can just knock her out. And overall, that fight went a little bit better than I expected it to. I guess it really helps to have a steel type to wall the dragons, even if you don't have a super effective move on that steel type. And that'll do it. We have all 8 badges. Wait. You're making me go somewhere else. I beat you! Give me the freaking badge! I'd take this time to turn around, talk to my Pokemon, and tell them to beat her up, but she constructed the gym in such a way that I can't even do that. Really? I'd call you a bitch, but I imagine everyone who's ever done a Let's Play of this game has done that, so I suppose I won't do that. Do you have anything to say about her? Aw, that means so much to me, dude whose name I forget. I suppose we'll tackle the Dragon's Den next time, since we apparently need to do it to get the badge. Kinda sucks, but what are you gonna do? This is Universal Giant, and next time we'll go to the Dragon's Den. See you then.